bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride.
Welcome brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues trending. But most important of all, you can pick up the telephone, give us a call, and change the subject matter. The number to call is 442-0175. This is an interesting time in Grenada. On the 23rd of June, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 5 p.m., Grenadians will be using the principles of one man, one vote, and they will be selecting or choosing the government of their choice. It will be free, fair, and free from fear. This has been going on since 1984, after we have had a second chance in the democratic process. And no side that lose election have ever challenged the result. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome, my brother.
Today, looking at the two leaders, all right, Dr. Mitchell and Buchanan. And when you look and see what going, when you look and see what happened during the 2 years of the COVID, yes, 270 people died, but I could stand and testify that this government handled that situation very wonderfully, dealing with the COVID. Yes, it kind of eased up, but it not totally it's garnered from we. So I want to say to the Grenadian people, when this government deserves a medal, they deserve a award by the way they handle the COVID crisis, the pandemic, and they deserve to be congratulated, and they deserve another 5 years in government, not only because of COVID, of the way they handle the economy during the time. But when you look at what happened again, people was home, but they still continue getting the salary every month. Even the government give them extra money because of the pandemic situation. And I say because of the good management of this government, people are going to compete madly. I'm calling upon you to make the right choice. And the right choice is voting for this government, which the government that will that the government that tried, tested, and delivered. I want to say something again. People, okay, I'm a member of the NMP party. What I like parties to stay on issue and stop this thing about Obia. And I tired here about people about Obia when the last election. I don't believe when people they in a race and last, you go back and look back to see where you make a mistake and learn from your mistake. Every year, one party lose Obia. And what they do have now, they get in the church to side with them. I call upon the churches, be careful. Be careful because God, we say we serve the same God. God is not a God that divides, but God that brings people together, unite people. I call upon pastors of churches. Yes, you might support a party. I call upon members of churches. Don't take church politics and bring it into the church. You have a party support a party. Okay, when they reach you vote and one vote for who you like or who you support. Don't take the politics and bring it to the church because they're dividing the church. So I call upon the Grenadian people, let us come together because we are all one. We are all one, but we have different choices. I respect a man's choice. I respect my choice, and I respect your choice. You make your own choice, and what I tell others. So if a man will tell me some other party, respect the man's choice. So, Mr. P, have a blessing.
Yes, scholar, thank you. It's always a difficult line that the church have to walk. Because there are times people believe the church must not get involved in politics. And there are times the people practically calling out on the church to take a position. It's a very difficult thing for the church. The church has practically, I don't know about other churches, but I guess the Catholics and Anglicans and these old traditional churches always call on people to exercise their right to vote. And sometimes they encourage their priests and ministers not to openly engage in the politics on the pulpit, but encourage people to participate. It's a difficult thing. Sometimes people want the church to take position and take sides. And then not everybody will say, Lord, Lord shall enter the kingdom of God. And remember, the devil could cite scripture for its purpose. So there will be people who conveniently will be using the church name. But the church again is a reflection of us. The election in Grenada is free and fair. And you have to do what you could to woo your voters. And people vote in election for different reasons. A man might be considered with a road in front of his gap. He don't care if you build 10 airports in the town, because in the last 25 years, he has not been to St. George's. What he concerned is about the road in the yard. About 25 years ago, I was surprised by the remark of a woman in the community. She said only 2 young men in the community she could vote for in an election. These 2 people wasn't even thinking about running. We have a call on the line, call a punch.
Hello, good afternoon,
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre. A lot of things been said, about our beautiful country the good Lord has given us. And you hear all sorts of names, poverty, and all sorts of things related to trouble, and all kind of things. So I wonder where? I'm a Grenadian. And I have to tell them, I said, my people, don't provoke trouble when you don't have trouble. A lot of things some of us don't appreciate the good things that is going on in our beautiful country here. So what I say in all this to say, we have to appreciate good things. Good government. They talk of different things about this present government, but he have records to show he don't just come in as a leader to say he representing Grenada. His records to show from time to time. He comes, he trains. So whatever he know, he don't just come like this. I admire the things he plans. He cares for the poor. For that matter, all different sectors of people, not only for himself, not only for the poor, not only for everybody. He says that they should get a fair share in whatever. That's a good leader. After Prime Minister Eric Matugeri is this present government. So Grenadians have to be so careful. Sometimes we say, okay, we look at a new era, but we have to be careful. If we go into a new era for our kids, we have to know what we heading for, where this will lead us. So that is all I have to say. Even the followers of this new government, all of them, which they are representatives, they clearly, they don't just go and say, and say they win a job. These people were well off, but there's a law that they have for the country, just as our Prime Minister. Yes, he's there for the nation, he's there for people. So, they are calling the Grenadians all kind of Grenadians are educated people. They know who they want in succession.
Thank you, caller.
Yes.
We have a feedback, I don't know. Thank you very much. You've been going very good, but we started to get a feedback. And we thank you, and we get the what you were saying. And just to read one of the calls on the posting on Facebook by London Jane. And I like that posting. Grenadians are just too happy. I think a lot of times I like that word. I say people too happy. You get up in the morning and there is peace and harmony. And I continue to repeat that we have electricity, telephone, water, and relatively good roads, and the best network of roads in the Caribbean region. In addition to that, because Grenadians are landowners, the majority of Grenadians are landowners, very few Grenadians are renting where they're living, particularly in the rural areas. Yes, we have more rent taking place in the town, and that's acceptable. So a lot of people could supplement the income by what they produce in the land. The schools are accessible, and the schools are in relatively good condition. And I just feel good when I pass around a school and I realize more than 20% of the teachers in the school drive themselves to school. And that is good. It means that they have discretionary income. I like the idea that the government today have introduced venture capital. I think this is one of the best moves the government has made in recent time. Because all people have money. Why I say that? Every financial institution in this country is very liquid. But our people do not have a culture to invest. So the government initiative in introducing venture capital is a good one. 2 young people don't need more than $50,000 to build a house. Because a house is a continuous process over a period of time. A number of people have cars, but if you can encourage our people to invest in projects that could make more. So when you want to buy a car, open a little business, and when the business make profit, buy the car. Because more often than not, that vehicle you purchase is not bringing in income, but you're mining it like a child. We have to change our culture. This is what needs to be changed in Grenada. Culture and attitude. We have beautiful infrastructure. And now Blaise have the road with the railing. When you watch it, it is a sight for the tourist book. We have a lot good going for us. We must make use of it. I now only say any young person over 18 that is not working, they have a problem with the attitude. You may be underemployed, but you can get a work to do. You may be underemployed, but you can get a work to do. And you could get involved in programs. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, scholar.
Yeah, what I'm saying this afternoon here, I wonder if Grenadians in Grenada are really listening to that program. Good afternoon.
Yes, brother, I listen to you.
And how are you doing, sir?
Great, man, good.
I wonder if Grenadians in Grenada are listening to that program at all.
Some do, some don't. Your radio in the back, if you cut off the radio in the back, because we have a time delay. You see? Listen, cut off the radio in the back. Somebody else switch it low.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Right, so you wouldn't wait on it. Go right ahead. Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah, I really wonder if Grenadians are listening that program 1 hour every day when you have that program. This program is so interesting. From the teenager to our senior citizens to listen. And listen when you speak as a gentleman. Because the words from your mouth, nobody. I listened to that program a little while now. And it's twice I ever call him, which is today and a couple of weeks ago. And if people really listen to that program and put everything that you say into practice, From the time I listening, there's only one person I had call and talk nonsense about Bishop and what I want. And he hang up his phone, he was just an ignorant person, but that is life. You get that on both sides of people. But what I'm saying, there are some people, when you listen to them on a radio show, they only talks about bad things about Grenada and Grenadians. Grenada don't have road, Grenada don't have this, Grenada don't have that. And on your program, nobody is calling and condemn that Grenada don't have road. So why we Grenadians are so wicked and malicious? I just listened to a talk show in Carrico. And the talk show I listened from this guy. I wonder if this guy have life or if he dead. If he cannot see or if he is a dumb, he cannot talk or he cannot hear. Because the thing this guy is saying, if people listen to what this guy is saying, these people will hate everybody in Grenada Carrico Mathematics because the guy is a hater. You understand what I'm saying? He's enemy of progress. And he was a member of the youth in Grenada for so much years under Kipicha. So why hate this man like that? Why this man ever do him? Or do the people and them in Grenada who hate him so much? Why? The man is a leader, the man is a leader. The man have people to follow him. He's not a follower. But if he have to be a follower, he will be a follower. Because I could remember once you were listening to Mahatma Gandhi in Trinidad on a program. And Mahatma Gandhi was in the back stage. And the people were in front and they asked him, who are the leader? He said there is sometimes the followers have to be the leader and the leader have to be at the back. So if we take a picture of those things, we are going good. We don't have no violence in Grenada Carrico back then. Now why some people want to dig up our ancestors to create chaos among people? Let the people do their work. When the time we tell the people don't want them anymore, they just get rid of them. Simple and easy. One man, one vote. The head person can vote. I hear people talking about, oh, why you got all the deaths on the list. This is not something come out just like this. You have a Bongian commission. When the time comes, they will come out. You have to get death certificate to take out all these things. Boss, you're doing a very good work. Educate who want to take it. And those who want to take it is because they are negative and they will stay negative for the rest of their life. Have a blessed day and you keep on your program, sir.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
And as
You're
you
welcome.
speak about dead people on the list, dead people can't vote. Because if dead people come in the polling station, I guess only the presiding officer and the clock that might remain. Everybody else running out. Because you see, maybe you have about 300-400 people maximum in a polling booth station. And everybody in the polling station practically know everybody. The NNP, the two main political party, they would have a very knowledgeable person as the agent. And they would have been perusing the list for weeks. The presiding officer generally is from that constituency and from that polling station. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, on the issue of sexual orientation, I didn't get the opportunity yesterday. When there was this allegation going around about Mia Motley and so on whatnot, and there's some prime minister in New Zealand and so on whatnot. So I guess people say all sorts of a thing, but the bottom line is that in my position is that somebody is free to love who they want to love, because sexual orientation doesn't say who you are. You could love a man love a man, and there could be a good person vice versa. So I'm interested in building lives and interested in people who are good people, not who they have sex with. Also, what I want to talk about...
I think that question resulted in, that comment resulted in somebody asking how long you should take if a group of people form a political party and they're relatively new. They was asking how long you should take before you know that people.
Oh, well,
And the question was, it doesn't matter what time the people come, because we live in a society where we know everybody. But if it's people you do not know, you would want to know what is the philosophy, what is the economic plan, what is the position, what is the issue on race, what is the issue on or the sexual,
Right,
the
so
issue on
right.
sexual liberalism?
Right. Okay. So I agree with that. But it's just that I personally, that if some individual is entitled to love who he or she wants, that's their personal business. Who they have sex with is nothing to do with.
Let me just make a statement there. Now, when you're selling yourself to people, you want them to vote for you.
Yeah.
You're selling yourself to them. And sometimes it's in your interest. If you're brand new to them, they only know you 2 days ago for them for you to answer the questions they're asking.
Right. So, but in any
Okay.
case, with me now, I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in building lives. But the main point is that I was listening to the news and they were saying about this monkeypox. Apparently, they found the monkeypox virus in semen. So, and it is possible that not only it could be translated by the normal or the original. How they
Yes,
thought it was.
monkeypox could be transmitted through fluids in the body.
Yes, so they were telling that it's through sexual contact. Because, you know, we sing about wearing masks and rubbing up with one another and so on. So I just thought of enlightening the public, because first time I heard this thing about semen. I'm always saying about you have to wear your mask and keep your distance. The same protocols that you follow for the COVID is the same for the pox. So I was just listening and I heard that they found the semen. They're very, as a matter of fact, they was very surprised. And they're claiming that through sexual contact, it is possible for you to get it. So I'm just warning the nation, telling people, just informing them, please be careful, use condoms, practice safe sex, because it is possible that you could get it through the semen. Thank you very much.
Yes, most time you hear people in medical field, they're telling you about body fluids. You can get a disease through body fluids. They doesn't really talk about sperm, because sperm doesn't fall on you just so. If you pass in near somebody, sperm won't fall on you. Although this woman in the house bust she husband head, and the husband called the police. And when the police come, she said it was an accident. And the police was alarmed because, you know, blood easy to flow in the head. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes,
How
my
are you?
brother. Great.
Yeah. Mr. Pierre, this morning I was listening to a program on one of the media house, and some caller called and said that the NDC organization is a cult organization. I find out totally disrespectful.
I did not hear the program.
You know, okay. Well, I heard the program. I was sitting behind the scenes, and I heard the NMP supporter. She's a supporter. She didn't hide to say she's not a supporter. She said that the NDC organization is a cult organization, and I find that it's totally disrespect.
Did she say why she said that?
No, she didn't say why.
Well, you know, around this election, people saying one amount of things.
That's true.
And sometimes, when somebody says something, no grounds, no rationale, sometimes we just have to forget it. And encourage people.
Excuse me.
Sometimes we have to encourage people. Be careful what you say, because we have to live together in one harmony later.
That's true, because he has some people, Mr. Pierre, in Grenada, all due respect to the people, you know. But he has some people, like, I would say, like, mouth open and word jump out. They doesn't think what to say. Because a few years ago, when me and my friends was more proactive, we used to go and try to show the people, educate the people, wise up the people, open up the people eye.
In what field was that proactive?
Excuse me?
What field you was that proactive in?
We were proactive trying to show the people about the secret behind the Bible, the whole Bible thing.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, the informer wrote an article on us, Scholars Cult, and that was totally disrespect to Scholars Cult, because we are not involved in a cult. So this morning when I heard the young lady
two
called,
people can be a cult, is it true?
excuse me? Yeah, me and my friend.
Well, that's why maybe they say it's a small group of people, and maybe if you, particularly if you're attacking religion, that word tend to easily come out on people's mouth when
true.
Religion is called. So we have to forgive them.
But my point I'm making is, do we have the evidence what is a cult? A cult people, they'll deal with like drinking human blood and crucifying people in the name of so and so. You know, so this is
that might be in extreme cases.
Excuse me?
That might be in extreme cases.
Whether extreme or whether extreme, people deal with the cultists, people that drink human blood make human sacrifice. So I wonder if the young lady really knew what is a cult, what meaning of a cult.
We don't agree that mouth open would jump out.
Yeah,
and particularly the politics.
Mr. Pierre, some people in Grenada
don't take it too serious.
Yeah, they must.
I guess it's just the politics.
Yeah, that's true. But they must think what they are saying, because yes, as I said years ago, we got really upset because we are not involved in no cult organization.
Sometimes when you're speaking, even me on this program, your mouth moving faster than your brain.
That's true.
And then you tend to make mistakes. So sometimes we have to forgive these mistakes.
Understand what you are saying, Mr. Pierre. I understand your point. Understand your point.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, let me make a little next input there. Renegade, Rome. How these people, what deal they have with the government? Do you know? Like if they take no tax on them or something, Mr. Pierre?
This is a big one. Perhaps we should start with that one first.
Okay.
Let's deal with that the next time.
Yeah, because
I don't have a clue on that.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, people got to be careful, because look what geese done to the banana industry.
Well, let's deal with this one. You see, that's a lot of big topics you're bringing in one time. You know? From religion to libel to renegade to geese. That need a whole day.
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Pierre. Yeah. Because when I used to live in North America, Mr. Pierre, and I see how much for some banana, just 5, 6 grades of banana, kind of $10, and I see what just 1 minute, a vehicle pass. I cannot. Okay, the vehicle pass. Because when I see what Mr. Geese used to give us for a banana, 10 and 12 cents a pound, and when I go up to America, I see $5 and $6 for just a few grains of banana. Yeah. You know, so I find that is exploitation. So
yeah.
People have to be careful.
All right, thank you, my brother.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, thank you, my brother.
Right, you're welcome. Bye.
I think it was Richard Branson, or one of them, that buy a diamond for Elizabeth Taylor for about $300,000. And that diamond, they must buy it in Africa for little or nothing. You call that added value. Added value. The Grenada Cocoa Association, we buy cocoa for 160 green a pound. But some people will buy a little chocolate for $200,000 to give a woman. So you call that value added. A rose you grow in your land, I might purchase it from you for $1.50. But I might sell it to my friend who is desperate to engage a girl for $200. We call that value added. And at every stage of the chain, you will shock what you pay for it. People come to Grenada and they may pay $2,000 for a hotel room or $10,000 for a room a night. And you might be quarreling to pay $40 for a room. You call that added value. For instance, we buy a beer for $3 for $10. But in some place you go right in Grenada here, a beer is $25. So these things are value added. And sometimes when you see it on the shop or the supermarket or the type of stores you have high end of the scale stores and you have supermarkets. And what you might be buying in a Salvation Army place, you might shock to know what somebody paying for it in one of the high-end stores in Frankfurt or Germany or London. Yes, the number to call is 442-0175. Somebody say a cult is a movement of people blindly following a leader. they don't have to drink blood. Right, I don't. Well, yeah. And he talk about renegade rum. You see, I have to leave out some of the things on Facebook. That is the guy's post. It's very interesting. But when somebody reading for you, you have to leave out some. Leader. And they don't have to drink blood. That is the essence of it. You know, that is the essence of the comment. And, you know, so it's important. We went back to the point. We are going back to the point while we wait on call. That electoral process in Grenada is extremely free and fair and free from fear. And dead people cannot vote. Not in Grenada. Because the people in the polling station, they know everybody on the list. Since somebody walking in, they know them. The presiding officer, the clerk, the two agents. In recent time, the police is normally from the community. So sometimes the police themselves know the people. The marshal know the people. Dead people can't come in the polling station. Because everybody know they're dead. They can't come in. And since they enter in the polling station, it's only the presiding officer and the poll clerk that might remain crying because they know if they mess up the system, they're going in jail. Everybody else running out. So irrespective of what you're hearing, no dead person can come on it. And they will always have dead people on the list. Because you can't tell people when to dead. They was dead unexpected. Sometimes the presiding officer or the poll clerk or the agent that is listed now to work by the 23rd, they're dead. They have to get somebody else. So when you're hearing these comments about dead people on the polling list, that's a joke. Don't waste time and bother with that. The electoral process in Grenada is the best in the region. It is the best in the region. And I say these things and I flaunt it in the face of the doubters. Because they know if I get new information, I change in my mind. But up to today, the electoral process in Grenada is the best. We must let our children know that. We must listen to it. We must know what the process is. We must flaunt it while we look at it with our hawk eyes. Every Grenadian is responsible for the process, not the returning officer, not the supervisor of election, not the clerk or the agents alone. Every Grenadian. You know the community. If you have a polling division, the different political parties going from house to house. That is the first time they're talking to mad people. If you're sick and you're almost dead, they're begging you not to dead before the 23rd, dead after. That is the time they're treating sick people the best. They're raising you and bringing you in the polling station. They don't want you to die before the 23rd. Mommy, please don't die, mommy, because you have to see after the future. Mommy will die on the 24th, don't die. So when you go in the polling station in election day, no dead people can come. No dead people can come. So we have a good system. And that is why I don't understand why Grenadians are tearing and saying our country asunder. We have a lot good going for us in Grenada. And we must not hesitate to flaunt it. You see, if we continue to cry, our children are going to believe things bad and they're going to leave us and go away. When they reach in New York City, life shock take them. About 16 people from Ticola was shot in New York. All of them say they get stray bullet. So I stop check after 16. All of them claim they were shot by stray bullet. In Grenada, animals will get plan also. But because we condemn in our country, a lot of our children left Grenada and looking for greener pastures. Some of them parents are young millionaires. Look in your own community. 20 years ago, all the people were doing, or the majority of people were doing very well in the community. 20, 40 years ago, all the children go away. You have a call on the line. Call a punch.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother. Welcome.
And to the listening, first and foremost, I have a problem with callers. Some of them want to call the radio station and say all what they want to the bunk other persons without withstanding the consequence of what can occur to the radio station and also to themselves. When they are not allowed, when they are not allowed to catch persons, they are always accused of being biased. Mr. Donald, Ms. Baptiste, and Mr. Agustin must be commended for pulling up the handbrakes on them to check themselves. To operate, we must understand, to operate a radio station is not selling fish. In a style, you have to have facts to elaborate. If you all do not have facts, shut up your all big mouth.
Yes.
And do not accuse the moderator of being political. That is nonsense. The song now is a wind of change is blowing in the air. That word is used very fluently during campaign. That is the NDC Council Road March. But if the wind is blowing their way to oppress and victimize the lower class children of the poor Imani workers, that is thieves. We are not living in a dream world. In this sea, the river does not flow up, it runs down to the sea. On the 23rd, make sure you all support the house. Nothing more than hopes can be said. Nothing more can be said about the doctor. His fault now is he's too old to rule. Well, he just elder than me a few years. He could not have been my father. He could have held my hand. All of us was children together. And I have my children, and they know old. So all my children, make sure we have very good relationship. Make sure they put it in the house on the 23rd. Thank you, Sophie.
Yes, caller, and the caller made a good point, pass for all radio personalities. Because you could be sued on the radio. And you'll have a program. This program is 1 hour. We encourage people, if you have 3-4 strong points, perhaps use one today and call the next one tomorrow. Because we give you an opportunity to rebut. And maybe in 30 seconds or 1 minute, you could make it. Sometimes you don't have to draw all the reference. It would cloud the point. So if you make your point, punch, bang, then sometimes if the moderator is interested in the point, he might want it expanded and ask you a question. And you could come back and rebut. But it's very important for us to be tolerant to one another and be respectful. And we must not try to bring the radio station into disrepute or cause them to be sued. Because one among the broken people on radio. No matter you hear people talking big on radio, Grenadians don't have billionaires. So it's one among the poor people that are involved in radio. Some of them might pretend they're rich, but don't bother with that. They're poor. You're from the community and you know who have money, who rich, who showing off, who have money only on Friday. And as I said Friday, I remember, the woman bust the man's head and he called the cops. And the police was very angry with her. He decided to take advantage on man. So he going to arrest her. And she said it was a mistake. The police said, how you could make mistake? The man went to the store and buy something like a little hammer. It's not a hammer, but a huge lambi. And he bring it for his wife. The wife said while she testing it to see how he gonna pump, he fall on his head and it's a mistake. And you know when you get a blow in the head, you get a cut in the head, you have a lot of blood vessels there. So it bleeds. People always get frightened when they get a lash in the head. But the wife says it's a mistake. And she said the man made 5 mistakes and she accepted. Because he have 5 children living in the house that is not ours. Every time you make a child, he tell her it's a mistake. So she tell the police a mistake she make. The police remember he buy one give wife too. So he leave the house, he tell the man it's a mistake. And he trying to go home to get rid of this little kind of hammer they buy with to Ponglambi. Men, you don't argue with the woman in the kitchen. Never do that. Otherwise, she might make a mistake or you might fall on your head. The number to call is 4420175. And you can call us on any subject matter. Somebody reminded me about a whole computer went missing within the electoral names in 2012 and up to now not a word. That was quite in 2012. All election in Grenada is free and fair, irrespective of the amount of lawyers that are involved in politics. From 1984, no one has challenged the electoral process. Yes, you have a caller on the line? Caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. I'm not hearing you at all. We either lose you or you lose us. Try again. Yes, so a lot of the statements you are hearing are just politicians. Instead of you spending time going out in the field, telling people about what your plans on, wooing people, the electoral process is good and fair. It is good. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Okay. So you don't be worried. And because the system is good, we must flaunt it. We must tell the world, make them know the system is good. You know the people in the polling station. You know them. They will try to choose relatively normal individuals. A lot of them are teachers, public officers. Some of them are retired personnel, because some of them might be from the private sector too. And they are your own people. And they take an oath. They have to make an oath to obey the rules. They are given the rules, the legislation. Your agents too is very knowledgeable. They train them. So let us be proud of the system we have. And let us not hesitate to flaunt it. The region respects Grenada electoral process. It is a good one. Whoever wins, that would be who the people want to win. What is most important is that the people get the vote. If they decide to vote for the triangle will win. If they want to vote for the square will win. And if they decide to vote for John Galt will win. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Pierre. I would like to hear your thoughts on nicknames and people spurring people to call them nicknames. Thank you very much.
Well, in Grenada, you have a lot of nicknames. I have some too. From tallman to shortman, all sort of thing. People call you all sort of nicknames. And it is part of the culture. When I was a young boy, I was taught that a Pierre is a Pe, and a Pierre is a Zabuka, and Pierre means Peter. So when I go to school and children say, you is a Pe, I say, yes, I'm also Zabuka. And then they would say, well, Pierre means Peter. So at a very young age, my parents prepared me for people provoking me in school, my name. Some people if you name too long, the children give you a shot on him. I remember one schoolmate, his name was Sheeptail Donkey Pumanile. Well, I've never heard, everybody knew his name. And he never bothered. He would just laugh it out. I didn't see him for years. And when I saw him, I couldn't remember his good name and I did not want to call him like that. And he was challenging me, what is my name again? I say, well, Sheep. And then he added, it was fun. So yes, you're going to have it in politics too. People trying to make fun of you, and if you get angry, then it's worse. So I think it's part of our culture. We must learn not to take ourselves seriously. Take other people seriously. We must teach our children not to take yourself so serious, but take people serious. And you must make fun of yourself. So if somebody call you a false name, don't get angry over that. You know? Don't walk up yourself over that. But people have to teach their children that. A little humor is good. And I constantly believe that people should teach their children the names of the villages in the parish. If you start by 5 years old, it'll be so much of fun. Because some names of some villages, there are a lot of humor involved in it. And that your child's vocabulary would expand. And maybe the diction. And maybe they may have a new sense of appreciation and love for the community. I think you have people that hate communities. Nobody wants to say they live in Tukongo, or Congo Tongue, or Monkabwit, or Tikolo. People don't want to say they come from these communities. I met an individual once, he told me he come from Tempe. His friend tell me not Tempe, from River Road. But he don't want to say from River Road, so he's saying from Tempe. So we have to make our people proud of our country. Some people don't want to make people know they're from Grenada. When you go in the international community, I heard some people don't want to say they've come from Grenada. They say in Trinidad. They're speaking like Trinidadian. We have Grenadian Calypsonian. They are cultural ambassadors. They're speaking like Jamaican. It is an embarrassment. When you're a cultural ambassador, you represent Grenada in toto. You can't be speaking as another country. Distinguish yourself with a line of demarcation in your speech to another country in the Caribbean. You have to be proud of your country, proud of yourself. You know, and I think maybe we could have more issues, more discussion with our children about false name. If you have a daughter that is not small, they will tell her she's fat. And if you have, sometimes they call her tiny whiny. The little children in kindergarten will call children different names. I met a mother crying once. Her daughter just come out in primary school, pre-primary, first day she go to school, the child come back home crying. And the mother was so upset. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, there is Chinese with diplomatic passport too, you know.
You have Chinese with diplomatic passport?
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with that?
So where you're talking about how people speak. They don't speak English.
Oh, well,
there are non-English people who don't speak English.
I agree with you. If the China...
So then what you try to imply, Mr. Pierre?
No, I agree with you. If the Chinese have a diplomatic passport and they're from China, you expect they will speak like a Chinese. You see some countries, particularly small countries as ours, they will use personnel from other countries to represent their interests. So let me give you an example. Let us suppose Grenada wanted to have an ambassador from Russia. Rather than pay somebody, they may use a Russian. And then perhaps we could start to ask questions. I don't think our journalists sometimes are very providing much information. The Indian High Commission in Grenada may not be an Indian. It may be a Grenadian. The Korean High Commissioner in Grenada might be a Grenadian. Somebody in Grenada that is seeking the interests of the Indian High Commissioner. And they give them a diplomatic passport. Or I don't know if it's an official, I have to be careful now with that. Whether it's a special passport or whatever. But it would cost them very little while they get some level of representation. Because a small country like Grenada, India may not feel it is necessary to provide an embassy in Grenada, but they want somebody that they can relate to because they might have 3 or 4 students or Indian people in Grenada. So take, for instance, if we have students in Afghanistan, it may be in our interest to have a high commissioner, and I don't know again if that is the correct word, so you use somebody from Afghanistan or some contact, or Kazakhstan, to do that. So nothing is wrong with that. But I'm speaking about Grenadians who are declared as Grenadian cultural ambassadors, people we know. And as soon as they are successful in Calypso, they change the twang and they speak like Jamaicans. We have people who rove the airways trying to correct people's grammar. They speak in English more than the British. And I don't think sometimes they're genuine because they wouldn't help the children in the school or in the community. So I believe if we teach our little children up to from about 5 years, 4 years, the names of the villages in the parish, it would be very good for them. Because sometimes the father come from one village, the mother, the grandmother, already every time they pass in a community, you take time off and tell them the name of the village. And little children learn quick, so they remember. I saw a mother the last time, she was so happy that her 2.5-year-old was identifying trees as they was driving. Mango tree, cocoa tree, coconut trees. It appears they are accustomed doing that with the child. And some people were amazed that the 2-year-old was recognizing trees and calling out the name as the vehicle passed. So we must be a constant source of teaching for our children. You sit down on the table eating bread and other fruits, then you tell the child about carbohydrates. And you tell them about vitamins. And when they have meat, you tell them about protein. Sometimes, as you say that, these words stay with the child and they understand. Now, we could do better. We have to have confidence in ourselves in this country. I think this is the most important thing. We must have confidence in ourselves. We have a good infrastructure in Grenada. Our politicians have done a relatively good job over the years. I know you will disagree with me on that. But I believe some of our politicians as a profession are the hardest working group in the country. The more dedicated, more honest, more committed. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, how are you doing, sir?
Great, man.
The Northwest constituency, the Honorable Thelma Thomas will be in Saab this evening. Saab tonight about 7 o'clock. So all the people of Saab and the surrounding areas, we ask you to come out and hear the lady reveal what she have for us for the upcoming 4-year period again. My brother trying to get in touch with you. You understand?
Okay.
I thought I had your personal number, but I don't have it.
Okay, no problem.
All right?
All right.
So you give me a call or something.
Yes, I'll do.
Good.
Yeah. Yes, so this is it. Tomorrow is a holiday. It's Corpus Christi. It's a Catholic holiday. It's principally celebrated by Catholics and some Anglicans. Devout Christians gather together to honor the sacred body of Christ. Sometimes it's done with a procession. You know, it's an outward display of during the procession of the body of Christ. And it's principally done by Catholics. I think it started by Thomas Aquinas, and it's a feast day. So it's a very important feast day in the church, and it's a holiday. It's a Catholic holiday. Most of the holidays in our country are Catholic holidays because Catholic is the dominant religion in Grenada. And people also use it for planting. One gentleman tell me, I don't know how true it is, but he tell me it's full moon. So it's not good for you planting peas. But I cannot verify that, I don't know. So a lot of people use it also to bless their tools. The agriculture tools in the church are blessed. And you know, so tomorrow is an important day. We would not have the program tomorrow. We're back with you next week, Monday, between 12 and 1. And again, it's a short week because you have election. And politicians are in the last minute hustling, and we must try to cool down the momentum, because you're not running for election. You're not campaigning for election. Yes, as every Grenadian, you're involved in the process, but you could cool down the momentum, and you could be more forgiving now, because you know sometimes we mouth travel faster than we brain. As the gentleman say, mouth open and word jump out, particularly when you are seriously politically motivated. But it's also a good time when you could provide a lot of information for your children. Your children is listening, the discourse, they're hearing. So parents, you have to be careful what you say, because your children hear. If you preach hate, your children will be preaching hate. If you show tolerance, your children will be showing tolerance. And it's our right to vote for whoever you want. And people cannot know who you vote for unless you have an open vote in the polling station. And if you have an open vote in the polling station, then everybody takes an oath to keep secret who you vote for. And if they speak about it later, they could go in jail. So normally we take the people in the polling station and the people involved in the electoral process, they take their job seriously, because their reputation is at stake and they're likely to go to jail for what? All this is done for us to have confidence in the system, for us to believe in our people. Our election is fairer than America. Everybody quoting America now. They want to take back country, they want to change. All these things are the American influence. Just as how we like plenty macaroni and rice and pizza and Kentucky. And we yam, we don't make any yam pie. And some people refuse to eat fig and blogo again. We want to consume all what the American television is advertising while we're crying in Grenada about the high cost of importation of food. And as we come to the end of our program, we want to thank you, particularly those who call and participate with us, and those who made posts on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Boss FM, CRFM, Real FM. Thank you very much.
Are stronger than these. We dine, we pray, we love, we dance and we play. We relate to each other, the rest in your way. Today as a people united as one. Determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon. The future now firmly in our hands. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong. Feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrating song.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.